Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing amazing today. This is your boy K's coming at you guys again with another Tower of Fantasy video. In today's topic, I actually wanted to talk about 6 ways that Tower of Fantasy separates itself from Genshin Impact. Now, Genshin Impact has forever been the game that Tower of Fantasy has been compared to, and I actually wanted to discuss with both communities how this game differentiates itself from Genshin Impact. And the first way that I actually want to talk about is just the character customization. Now, you guys have already seen it already. Tons of videos have been spurring out there. There have been characters created from animes, video games, even Genshin Impact, Honkai. One thing that I love about Tower of Fantasy is just how much in depth you can go with the character customization. You will never encounter a character that looks exactly the same unless you use one of the presets. But I just love it, and they're constantly adding more avatar costumes. They're adding more accessories, more hairdos. It is just absolutely phenomenal what you can do with this custom level of customization. I mean, I created Genos from freaking One Punch Man. Like, that lets you know how in depth this customization goes. The second thing that sets it apart from Genshin Impact is the player versus player content. Now, Genshin Impact doesn't really have PvP, and it is something that has been really requested by a lot of players in Genshin Impact. Well, Tower of Fantasy has taken a step in that direction by, one, they have added a PvP mode. They have 2 PvP modes. You can have PvP in open world, and you can also have PvP in the actual feature, the actual mode. Now, the differences between the two is that in open world, well, you are susceptible to being destroyed by whales. In the actual mode, well, everything is balanced. Even though someone whales, all the equipment is balanced, and so that instead of free-to-play players being bullied by just people who spend tons of money, well, now it becomes more skill-based. The awesome thing about the player versus player content also is that I've seen them hold events where they give out currency and in-game items and stuff. Like, they hold a 2v2 event, tournament event. I think it's a 3v3. They're also adding a battle royale that's going to be similar to something like Fortnite. So that's going to be pretty exciting. There's just so much to do. And then there's also leaderboards. So that's going to give players also that unique feeling of being number 1 on the leaderboard, or being number 2, and just climbing their way up the leaderboard ladder. That's the second way that Tower of Fantasy separates itself from Genshin Impact. The third way is through its in-game content. Now, this game has so much in-game content, it is just ridiculous. Let me just touch on a little bit of it. So this has been an ongoing issue that's been going on with Genshin Impact, where players have also been complaining about hey, the in-game content in Genshin Impact is stale, it's dry. Where does it even exist? We get content and we blow through all that content in a little bit of 2 hours, and we're just man, we want more content over in Genshin Impact. The developers really haven't been listening to the community as of late, and one way that Tower of Fantasy has been differentiating itself from Genshin Impact is through its in-game content. Now, they have their own Spiral Abyss. Their Spiral Abyss has 500 plus floors. The great thing about their Spiral Abyss is that you can whale and still get stuck on a floor. I've seen whales be stuck on floors that they literally cannot pass, that they're literally stuck. And that is the awesome thing. Free-to-play players can climb to a certain height, and yes, whales can go beyond that, but whales will also hit their mark as well. So it leaves it still challenging. It leaves players with something to still fight for, to get stronger for, so that they can actually pass. The other way is through raids. Another way is through this mode called Frontier, where you kind of fight a wave of enemies, and it's you need to cooperate together. The other way is through there's little challenges throughout the world map where you only can actually activate them through co-op. What else is there? There's freaking joint operations where you can go into dungeons with the party, with your friends, and you guys can complete the dungeon and fight the boss at the end. There's just so much to do, and it's just it's tons and tons of it. It's just an amazing experience in terms of in-game. The next way that it differentiates itself is just through its free-to-play friendly content. Now, most players are gonna say, well, how we've already kind of unpacked this, unraveled this, but Tower of Fantasy is actually really free to play, guys. I know like in Genshin Impact, you know, the amount of time required for a free-to-play player to save up enough primo gems in order to attain a C6 is actually quite heavy. Well, I remember I just came from beta just now, and I can remember getting multiple characters to C3 on their weapons. And I thought that was pretty cool because I didn't have to spend a freaking dime. And I was like, man, that's going to be really, really cool to see a lot of free-to-play players having C6 weapons and C6 characters in this game, and they didn't have to spend a dime. You know, that's an awesome thing, and I really appreciate Hada Studios really making this game free-to-play friendly. This fourth way that this game actually separates itself from Genshin Impact is through its co-op focused content. Now, the great thing that I love about this game, this is probably my favorite aspect, is that most of the content is co-op oriented. It's co-op focused, meaning, you know, they actually encourage you to go out and make friends, you know, to socialize with your friends, to meet strangers in game, to meet up with or team up with strangers so that you guys can complete a dungeon. Or, you know, like I said, there's literally challenges that can only be activated in the world map through having a party of players. You know, there's raids, you know, teaming up with other players. There's guilds. I'm not sure if they're gonna add like guild wars. I remember it kind of came up. Don't take that as factual information, but there's frontier mode. There's just so much. There's joint operations. There's just so freaking much stuff to do. You can even explore the world with your friends, you know, and go collect treasures and, you know, find mount pieces so that you can be able to ride, you know, collect new mounts. It's just so much to do. And then that just brings me to my last topic, you know, the player experience. You know, the last and final thing that separates it from Genshin Impact is really just its player experience. And I mean, like, through guilds, like leaderboards, mounts. There's this thing in the game called relics that, you know, it's just like, it's just so much to do. And it just even makes it a great experience for not only free-to-play players, but also whales as well. Because as I mentioned earlier, whales can't solo all the content. I have seen so many whales who have literally spent thousands of dollars on the game who literally require the help of free-to-play players in order to beat raids. You know, and vice versa. Free-to-play players, you know, they can utilize the power of a whale. You know, and it creates this symbiotic relationship where it's like, hey, we work together to accomplish a much bigger goal so that we all win in the end. And that's, I honestly think that is the best way that you should always kind of have your game, because it creates such a great player experience. So those are 6 ways that Tower of Fantasy separates itself from Genshin Impact. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this video. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys for all that you guys do. Thank you so much for stopping by, watching the video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Make sure you guys hit the rate, like, comment, and subscribe button. We are on our way to 100 subscribers. We are almost there, guys. And as always, guys, this is your boy Kays. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.